Hello everyone and welcome to my channel IP Network Venture. Today I'll be discussing the differences between Linux and Unix operating system. But before we continue, this channel is being created by myself, Habib Zakaria. I'm a network solutions architect and I do promote hosting services, Cataclysm hosting services, which I will be leaving the information right at the bottom of every slide. And I hope you could follow me, like and subscribe for more videos that are important in nature, especially in IT field and networking field. So with no further delay, let's continue. The differences between Linux and Unix operating system has emerged ever since Unix and Linux started to compete in the marketplace, and the origin and development of both the system architectures and the operating system needs to be understood properly, and that's the reason why I put in this information here in my channel. Origin and development. Unix. Unix was developed in the late 1960s and early 1970s at AT&T Bell Labs by Ken Thompson, Dennis Ritchie and others. Unix is the original OS on which many modern OS concepts are based. It became the basis of many proprietary versions. Linux, on the other hand, is created by Linus Torvalds in 1991. Linux is an open source Unix-like operating system inspired by Unix but written from scratch. It doesn't contain any proprietary Unix code, though it mimics Unix design principle. So that's the basic difference. Linux is much more modern than Unix, but the proprietary versions that Unix holds keeps it very important. Licensing and distribution. This is again very important to understand. In Unix, most versions of Unix are proprietary, as we said, such as IBM, AIX, HPUX, and Oracle Solaris. Although BSD, the Berkeley Software Distribution, and few others are open source, licensing varies with each Unix variant. Linux is an open source distributed under the GNU General Public License. Anyone can modify and distribute the Linux code, which has led to the creation of various versions of distributions, such as Ubuntu, Fedora, Debian. So you name it. I mean, you can get Linux operating system of any name in the market, or you could also design it yourself because it's an open source, right? System architecture and the kernel in both the operating system. Unix typically uses monolithical kernels but varies by versions. Unix systems have distinct hardware and software compatibility layers, with certain implementation optimized for particular hardware. Linux, on the other hand, uses a monolithical kernel, but it is slightly modular and customizable, allowing it to run on a wide variety of hardware. Linux kernel updates are frequent and community contributions are significant. That's why when you see Linux operating system and you deploy it in your servers or in your desktops, you know it has a support for 5 years or even less sometimes. But keep that in mind, because after 5 years you will have to jump into another operating system. So it could be free of charge, but it has that sort of inconvenience of running this operating system for a long time. Whereas Unix is supported by the hardware version and it is supported by the vendor itself for a long time, as long as you has that operating system running in their hardware. Compatibility and probability. Unix often designed with specific hardware in mind. Not all Unix versions run on all hardware, which makes Unix less portable. whereas Linux is highly portable and compatible with numerous hardware platforms, from servers to desktops and even embedded systems, because of its open source nature and widespread hardware support. So that's basically the main difference between Unix and Linux. User base and usage. Unix primarily used in large-scale enterprises, academic and industrial applications, especially on specialized hardware. Linux, on the other hand, is widely adopted across both personal and enterprise settings. It is popular in web servers, cloud environments, supercomputers, desktops, and embedded systems. Community and support. Unix support is typically provided by commercial vendors. Community involvement varies depending on the version. Linux, on the other hand, has a large active community with extensive documentations, forums, and distributions, providing both community-based and commercial support options. So in summary, basically, the origin between Unix and Linux, as I have explained, the origin of Unix is from AT&T Bell Labs, and it came to basically come to life in 1969, whereas Linux was brought in 1991 by Linus Torvalds. Again, in the licensing piece, as I explained, Unix is mostly proprietary. Some are open, whereas in Linux it's an open source GPL. On the kernel side, just remember both of them are monolithic, whereas in Unix varies by version and Linux is highly customizable. Portability. Unix is limited to specific hardware, so it's not portable at all. Linux, on the other hand, is very highly portable across diverse platforms. Unix is highly used in enterprises, universities, and in a lot of vendor-specific servers, whereas Linux is used in servers, desktops, embedded, and in cloud solutions. Community support, it's vendor specific for Unix, whereas Linux has extensive community driven support. In essence, while Linux was inspired by Unix, it is more portable, more flexible, widely used, open to the public collaboration, making it different in design philosophy, support, structure, and usability. So those are the differences between Unix and Linux, and I hope I have provided some useful information here. And as I said, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because I'm bringing in more important topics that are worthy of your time. Please like, subscribe, and share the content with all your community members and friends and families, so this knowledge can spread to everyone who is interested in learning Linux or Unix. Thank you again, and see you again in my next lecture.